Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be going over pushback override. We'll talk about what it does, when you might want to use it, and how the token bucket system that drives pushback override works. Let's hop straight over to the settings. So we have the usual culprit here, pushback override, enable and disable. Very easy for you to change. If you don't like this feature, you don't have to use it. These other two settings require some explaining. So we have pushback override refill per second and pushback override max tokens. So pushback override uses a token bucket system to determine whether or not a pushback should occur or a rewind should occur. And what I mean by a pushback is that when I place my head into a position that's in the wall, a pushback occurs if that is the mode that's set up for wall clip prevention. Same thing for instant climbing and instant falling. All these same concepts still apply. Just refer to it as part of wall clip. That's the easiest to understand. So when I put my head into a wall with the headset, what the game is actually doing is it's rewinding my position by one frame rather than several saved check positions. So to the player, it looks like the wall's just being pushed away from them. But what's actually happening is that the camera rig is being adjusted so that their head isn't in the wall anymore, and it's being adjusted the minimum amount necessary for that to happen. Every time that happens, if pushback override is enabled, one token is deducted from the pushback override token bucket. Now this bucket starts out when you first run the game or run it in Unity. It starts out full, and it starts out with the max tokens number. So in this case, it starts out with 60. Every time that you need to do a pushback, every time that a pushback is required, one token is subtracted from that bucket. And as long as there are tokens left in the bucket, the pushback happens normally. Everything works fine. What happens is that when it gets down to where there's less than one token left in the bucket and a pushback needs to occur, instead of a pushback happening, we do a rewind instead. So the effect of this is that you're able to use pushback to do things like I accidentally clipped into a wall and I ran into a wall temporarily, but it prevents situations like where a player is trying to figure out if he can see through a wall or trying to figure out a way to take advantage of your geometry to try to get behind that wall. If you have too many pushbacks in a row and the token bucket gets depleted, a rewind happens instead, which puts you back from the wall into a safe position. So now, you might be thinking that the token bucket will run out of tokens, and you're right. What actually happens is that every second, you have pushback override refill per second tokens added back into the bucket. Now, those aren't added at the even second mark. Instead, they are at a portion of those 30 tokens are added each frame. So the effect is that if I run into a wall and continue to run into that wall, I will get a rewind. If I immediately run into the wall again, I will get rewound almost immediately because the token bucket has not had time to replenish enough tokens for me to do very many pushbacks. However, if I run into the wall, get rewound, and then wait a few seconds, and now run into the wall again, I will have the same delay between me running into the wall and the rewind as I did the first time. So this is a constantly refilling bucket. Now, any tokens that try to get added after that 60 number of tokens is already in the bucket, they spill out and they're lost. So in this way, we allow players to do things like have occasional clips with the walls while just having a pushback effect, and that all feels very natural. But we also prevent some exploits and some taking advantage of the way that ArmSwinger works as far as trying to look through walls and things like that. So if you like this feature, you can leave it in. It is on by default. Obviously, you can turn it off if you're not interested in it as well. This is just one more thing in kind of the arsenal of features able to help you keep your player in bounds, keep your player from being able to see things they shouldn't or go places that they shouldn't. That's all there is on pushback override. I will see you in the next video.